Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Assalamu alaikum. Together with the Presidential Communications Office, we bring you the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news coverage from the People's Television, IBC, Philippine News Agency, Philippine Information Agency, and Presidential Broadcast Service. I'm Princess Habiba Saripauda from Radyo Pilipinas. Welcome to Balitang Pambansa. Tonight's headlines. The palace has ordered a probe on the supposed donations given to some police units allegedly coming from suspected Chinese spies. Several lower house lawmakers are pushing for the implementation of social media registration to help combat fake news. The Department of Health, or DOH, warns against diseases related to extreme heat after Metro Manila's temperature reached 46 degrees Celsius and could possibly do so again tomorrow, experts say. The palace says that concerned government agencies are working together to address the extremely hot weather that various parts of the country is experiencing. On top of the news, the president is livid and has ordered a thorough probe on alleged police officers aiding and abetting Chinese spies and those in the pockets and payroll of Chinese crime bosses. Underworld characters with lots of money who have reportedly placed generous dole-outs to PNP units not out of the kindness of their hearts, but as quid pro quo for unlawful favors down the line. PTV correspondent Glazelle Partilia hashes over the details.
Malacanang is investigating reports some police units have allegedly received donations from Chinese nationals suspected of being spies.
Pag-aaralan po natin yan. Wala pong masama kung tatanggap tayo ng donasyon if it is done in good faith. So kung ito naman po pala ay parang ibinigay, pero merong kakaibang dahilan for that, kailangan po nating imbestigahan yan at kung sino man po yung mga tumanggap ng mga opisyal ng LGU, dapat siguro po malaman natin para hindi na po maulit kung sila man ay nagagamit, kung hindi man nila alam na nagagamit sila.
The palace is also looking into claims certain Chinese nationals linked to crimes allegedly have protectors in the highest levels of government.
Hindi po yan pababayaan ng Pangulo. Talaga po kapag kabugan yan ang balita at nakarating sa atin yan, kailangan po talagang imbestigahan yan. Hindi po ito dapat palampasin.
Meanwhile, Malacanang reiterated the Typhoon missile system will remain in the Philippines unless China complies with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s condition to stop harassing Philippine troops navigating the West Philippine Sea.
Ang naging desisyon po ng International Court of Arbitration ay napakahalaga po. Napakahalaga. Hindi po ito pwedeng itapon lang sa basurahan. Ipaglalaban po natin kung ano ang ating karapatan sa ating teritoryo at sa ating maritime rights.
Recently, false claims surfaced on social media stating that Palawan is part of China, a claim the National Historical Commission of the Philippines strongly belies and rejects. To combat disinformation, the Presidential Communications Office is stepping up efforts against fake news, particularly against troll armies paid to spread misinformation. The PCO is strengthening fact-checking measures and the delivery of accurate information. In line with this, the agencies under the PCO will undergo evaluation to ensure greater efficiency and accountability.
I-assess natin kung ano yung nagawa nila, ano ng bawat opisina. Proper evaluation. Kumbaga, kahit naman sa ordinary na kumpanya, may bagong pasok, aalamin mo, ano ba nagawa nito? Maganda ba ito nagawa niya o hindi?
Malacanang has also ordered all appointed officials under the PCO to submit their courtesy resignations. This move aims to allow newly appointed PCO Secretary J. Ruiz to assemble his own team and set his new policy direction. Glazelle Partilia, Balitang Pambansa.
As the 2025 midterm elections nears, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. warned the public anew against the spread of fake news, disinformation, and misinformation. In a vlog posted in his social media account, the chief executive urged Filipinos to be critical of the information they see online. The leader of the land cited an example of false claims circulating online that he would declare martial law, an allegation the palace has firmly denied. Executives advocated a form of deception from what he described as a fake news factory.
Fake news, kaliwat kanan na rin yan. Kaya dapat maingat tayo mga mamamayan. Ngayon, laghanap na naman ang fake news at disinformation. Dapat extra ingat lang po tayo sa mga nababasa natin online. Ang katotohanan ay kampanya man o hindi, ang fake news ay laging nandyan. Kampanya man o hindi, walang pipigil sa pagseserbisyo ng ating pamahalaan. Lalo pang patitibayin ang nasimulan. Lalo pang paigtingin ang pagpapaganda.
To curb the spread of fake news in the country, some lawmakers are pushing for the implementation of social media registration that will require online users and content creators to register. It also proposes the establishment of a digital council in the bureaucracy. PTV's Melanie Moras tells us more.
As part of measures to curb the spread of fake news in the country, some lawmakers in the House of Representatives are pushing for the implementation of social media registration. According to House Deputy Majority Leader Paulo Ortega, the details still need to be hammered out and fine-tuned. Similar to the SIM Registration Act, he believes it would be better if online users and content creators are also required to register. House Committee on Women and Gender Equality Chair Geraldine Roman agrees with this proposal. She further added it would also be beneficial to establish a digital council of the Philippines, which would oversee the country's content creators registry.
Parang SIM registration nga yan eh. Ganun talaga eh. You have nothing to hide. You have no hidden agenda. You have no intent to maliciously deceive the people or to, serve the interests of certain parties unscrupulously. Eh, wala ka dapat katakot. Pangatawanan mo.
Nakakalungkot na ganito na po yung napuntahan. Tapos parang ang saya-saya pa ng mga ganitong tao sa ginagawa nila. Kaya sobrang nakakalungkot na it's not the real, hindi yung totoong sarili nila yung pinapakita nila dito eh. Kumbaga nakamaskara kasi sila sa social media. So kayo yung mga trolls, yung mga masasamang intention, mga fake news kayo. Fake you.
As the Hatol ng Bayan 2025 draws near, lawmakers also warn the public to be cautious of candidates spreading false information. They also emphasize that the public should vote for pro-Philippines politicians and patriotic lawmakers.
Kailangan yung malasakit saka yung dedikasyon nila para sa bansa. Napakaklaro naman po yan. Kaya yung mga medyo tikom dyan, alam na this. Hindi sila pro-Pilipinas. Sabi ko nga, di ba, plataforma bago paninira.
Congresswoman Roman said that before the 19th Congress ends, they will strive to pass more bills that greatly benefit our countrymen. This includes measures for the welfare of women, which is especially timely as the country celebrates National Women's Month this March. From PTV, Melanie Moras, Balitang Pambansa.
After the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, announced that temperatures in Metro Manila may reach 46 degrees Celsius, some schools in Metro Manila implemented blended learning and class suspensions. PTV's Bien Manalo has the details of this story.
Owen Jan has a few tricks or tips to relieve oneself from the high heat and humidity. As a traffic enforcer in Quezon City, he feels more and more the rise in temperature on the road and under the sun.
Usually nasa kalsada, salo yung init ng panahon. Ang ginagawa ko, more on water. Then pagka hindi na kaya ng katawan, take a rest or sumilong para kahit papano yung katawan natin is ma-reduce yung init sa katawan.
Barbecue vendor Edison also drinks a lot of water to hydrate and relieve himself from the heat. Even more for him since he works all day selling on the street.
Minsan, papapalit ako doon sa ibang kasama para naibsan ko talaga yung init.
The Department of Health warns the public against illnesses related to extreme heat. This after the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA announced the temperature in Metro Manila may reach up to 46 degrees Celsius from today until tomorrow. In PAGASA's forecast, some places in Region 3, including Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Bataan, and Olongapo City have been placed in the danger heat index. Because of this, some schools in Metro Manila have announced blended learning and class suspensions. According to Pag-asa, the temperature can be classified as extreme caution if the temperature reaches from 33 to 41 degrees Celsius, while the danger level is if the mercury hits 42 to 51 degrees Celsius. Such temperatures can lead to heat cramps, heat exhaustion with symptoms such as fatigue, dizziness, headache, and vomiting, and the deadly heat stroke. Heat stroke is a condition with symptoms of loss of consciousness, confusion, or seizures or convulsions that could prove lethal if not treated immediately. Some of the things you can do if one feels or observes any symptoms of heat stroke. First, move the person to a cool place and adjust the ventilation. Remove his or her outer clothing and apply a cold compress, ice pack, cold water, or cold wet cloth on the skin, especially on the head, face, neck, armpit, wrist, ankle, and groin.
Payuhan ng publiko na regular na subaybayan ang mga ulat mula sa Pag-asa at gumawa ng mga hakbang para makaiwas laban sa sakit na ito, kabilang ang pag-inom ng maraming tubig, pag-iwas sa iced tea, soda, kape o mga inuming may alkohol at paglimita sa oras na ginugugol sa labas sa pagitan ng 10 a.m. hanggang 4 p.m. Gumamit rin ng proteksyon sa araw tulad ng sombrero, payong at sunblock.
The DOH also advises the public to coordinate with emergency services immediately if they experience any symptoms to keep the situation from getting worse. From PTV Manila, Bien Manalo, Balitang Pambansa.
The government is ready to address the rising heat indices recorded in the various parts of the country. According to Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro, they are closely monitoring the impact of the hot weather across the country to take the necessary actions to address the problems it might cause. Some city governments in Metro Manila declared suspension of face-to-face classes, while some schools opted to shift to blended learning as precautionary measures for the welfare of the students. On the other news, Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel volunteered to leading the drafting of rules for the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. Pimentel pointed out there are only 5 lawyers in the upper chamber, which is why he expressed willingness to lead the drafting of the rules. The lawmaker says he will wait for the official designation first. And as the country celebrates National Women's Month, senatorial candidate and Las Piñas City Representative Camille Villar reaffirmed her commitment to championing initiatives that promote women's empowerment in public and private sectors. In her Facebook post, Villar urged the public to continue to fight for equal rights, respect, and recognition for women. Meanwhile, some senatoriables of Alianza para sa Bagong Pilipinas are advocating to intensify the fight against fake news. In a press conference, former DILG Secretary Binhur Abalos and former Senator Manny Pacquiao said they themselves are also victims of disinformation. Some groups are using their names to deceive people. Thus, they are eager to combat the dissemination of disinformation in social media. Currently, the ranking of most senatorial candidates of the Alianza remains high in pre-election surveys.
Ano nakalagay rito? Nakalagay yung mukha ko, pangalan ko, ginaya talaga yung Facebook account ko. Isipin nyo, ilan niloko nito?
Nabasa ko yung sarili ko pag ano ko ng Facebook, nakalagay doon, paalam, Manny Pacquiao. Namatay na raw ako.
Definitely sa akin, dapat ipagbawal ang fake news. Dami ko ng kaibigang napatay eh. Patay na daw, hindi pa pala.
Ako po si Jerwin Macadenden, 42 years old, ARB beneficiary ng probinsya ng Quirino. Si Lola, siya yung dating nagtatanim ng puno rito. mais at saka puno ng kamuting kahoy. Nakalipas ang ilang taon, yumaon na po siya at pinagkatiwala sa akin ng lupa. At ako na po yung nagtanim ng mga prutas at mga iba pang pagkain po rito at saka nag-aalaga na rin po ng mga iba't ibang klase ng hayop. Mula nung sinimulan namin ito, nagkaroon kami ng pagkakataon na libre ng aming ulam at nakapagbenta rin po ng mga ibang prutas para mapantulong sa aming pamilya at sa mga nag-aaral ko pong anak. Nag-umpisa na rin pong nilakad namin sa DAR ang pagpapalipat ng pangalan sa aking lola papunta sa akin. At nung April 17, 2024, inakuha ko na po yung title at nakapangalan na po sa akin.
Ayun pong umaga, utos ng ating mahal na Pangulo, President Bongbong Marcos, ibigay na ang titulo sa lahat ng Agrarian Reform beneficiaries.
Nagpapasalamat po ako kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, kay mahal na DAR Secretary Conrado Estrella III at sa lahat ng pamunuan ng DAR. Masaya po ako at masasabi ko na rin po, meron po kaming sariling lupa na sinasakat. Lola, kung nabubuhay ka pa, nakita mo na sana na fully developed itong lupain mo ngayon at ipagpapatuloy para sa kaunlaran ng iyong mga pamilya. Bagong Pilipinas, bagong buhay para sa pamilyang magsasaka.
And we are back. The palace cited President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s decision to ban Philippine offshore gaming operators, or POGOs, as a crucial factor in the Philippines' removal from the Financial Action Task Force gray list. Meanwhile, oil companies confirmed a rollback in fuel prices on Tuesday. These and more in tonight's business wrap from the Philippine News Agency.
Moving to business, the Securities and Exchange Commission vows to roll out reforms that will keep the Philippines out of the Financial Action Task Force's gray list, or countries with deficiencies in their measures on anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism. Among these reforms are the Project Harbor, or Hierarchical Applicable Relations and Beneficial Ownership Registry, the expanded non-profit organization outreach, the drafting of new rules on crypto asset service providers, and the strengthening of its enforcement capabilities. SEC Chair Emilio Aquino said the Philippines is preparing for another mutual assessment of its AML-CFT standards in the next 2 years. He said continued vigilance, policy enhancements, and effective enforcement will ensure that the Philippines remains a reliable and competitive financial hub in the region. Meanwhile, Korea Electric Power Company has expressed interest in exploring opportunities in renewable energy, nuclear energy, and smart grid in the country. The Department of Energy said that KEPCO President Kim Dong-chol reaffirmed in a meeting with Secretary Rafael Lotilla their commitment to invest in the Philippine energy sector. Kim shared Korea's highly stable power grid made possible by its intelligent digital power management system using artificial intelligence that enhances efficiency, optimizes grid operations, and swiftly detects the response to potential issues. Lotilla said KEPCO's interest in further exploring the Philippine energy market will help the government achieve its goal of energy security and sustainability. He thanked KEPCO for its efforts to share best practices that can enhance the efficiency and reliability of the country's own power grid. That's the latest business news from the Philippine News Agency. This is Wilnard Basalonia for Balitang Pambansa.
On the other news, aspiring artists in Catbalogan City took part in a visual arts forum and training. Aaron Cotejaro of Philippine Information Agency Samar has the details.
In a burst of creativity, around 40 local art enthusiasts from Catbalogan City, Samar came together for an electrifying visual arts forum and training session where their artistic talents were honed with expert technical guidance.
With the kind of talk that I had earlier, it's really important for other artists from a different place, most especially those who hasn't, gotten out of their turf or their home, meeting new people because of art, meeting awesome artists from different places, giving them samples of what to do to widen their horizons in terms of art, and then also motivating them at the same time.
The forum featured powerful discussions with art experts from Palo, Leyte, Tacloban, and Baybay cities, offering a platform for established artists to share their journey and ignite a spark in the participants, pushing them to chase their own creative dreams.
I'm very happy na for this kind of event natin hihimo ni damoan na pubuligan ng mga local artists din niya aton. So, thank you for creating this kind of event.
This inspiring event is a key highlight of the recently concluded National Arts Month celebration under the theme Ani ng Sining, Diwa at Damdamin. From the PTV Samar, Aaron Nicotihar, Balitang Pambansa.
A former overseas Filipino worker or OFW gave an interesting twist to Antique's well-known product, Muscovado. Pilar Mabacquiao of Philippine Information Agency Antique tells us more.
Making a leap from being an overseas Filipino worker to a successful entrepreneur does not always come with sweet twists, but also with some challenges. Meet Abin Ortega, a former overseas Filipino worker turned entrepreneur. With strong entrepreneurial mindset and a goal to enhance local products, he turned these experiences into opportunities, carving out a place in the Muscovado sugar industry.
I've decided to stay na lang dito sa Pinas. Nakipag-connect ako sa DTI. Yung turning point ko is nang na-avail ko yung KMME program ng DTI, which is in collaboration with the Go Negosyo. Nagka-pandemic tayo, naka-access ako ng program din ng DOST, which is the Innovation for Filipinos Working Distantly from the Philippines. In short is I-Forward. Tumutulong sa mga kagaya kong OFW.
In December 2022, with the help of I-Forward PH, a capacity business development course of the Department of Science and Technology for OFWs anchored on science, technology, and innovation, Aben founded Albin Packaging Services, which specializes in producing Muscovado sugar in sachets under brand Handoms.
Very much grateful gid ako. Ang handom ko, quote-unquote, posible man lang gali ma-materialize kung nagakipag-connect kita sa eksakto nga mga government agencies.
Beyond promoting Antique's rich agricultural heritage, this venture creates economic opportunities for local farmers and workers. From the Philippine Information Agency Antique, Pilar Mabacquiao for Balitang Pambansa.
And for some news, the palace cited President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s decision to ban Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs as a crucial factor in the Philippines' removal from the Financial Action Task Force gray list. Meanwhile, oil companies confirmed a rollback in fuel prices on Tuesday. These and more in tonight's Business Wrap from the Philippine News Agency.
In our business news, Malacanang has cited President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s decision to ban Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGO as a crucial part in the Philippines' removal from the Financial Action Task Force gray list. Communications Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the POGO issue was a significant reason that the country was in the gray list. She said the FATF also recognized the reforms made by President Marcos, particularly Executive Order number 33, adopting a financing strategy to eliminate or reduce activities related to money laundering and terrorist financing for 2023 to 2027. Castro said the removal from FATF gray list would mean smoother financial transactions, attracting foreign investors and lowering remittance fees for overseas Filipino workers. Meanwhile, oil companies have confirmed a rollback in fuel prices on the first Tuesday of March. In separate advisories, Petrogas, Clean Fuel, Shell, and Sea Oil announced they will slash diesel prices by 80 centavos per liter, while gasoline prices will go down by 90 centavos per liter. Shell and Sea Oil will also roll back kerosene prices by 1 peso and 40 centavos per liter. The Department of Energy cited reports of weak economic growth in the U.S. as well as progress on the Ukraine-Russia ceasefire deal, along with other factors that led to the rollback. That's the latest business news from the Philippine news agencies. This is Wilnard Basalonia for Balitang Pambansa.
Alhamdulillah for the second day of Ramadan and second day of fasting. And that concludes our rundown of the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation. This is your trusted news source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again tomorrow at 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Princess Abiba Saripaudak, and this is your Balitang Pambansa.